I love that we all come together to support one another, to help really drive and boost the industry that we are in. Everybody, and thank you for joining our web session today. My name is Emma Barron. I am the Deputy General Manager for Professional Beauty here in Dubai, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome Gareth Davies all the way from the UK, who will be presenting today's session, and also Mary Pratt, who some of you I'm sure have seen before, who will be helping me host this session. So today's session is all about how to create the perfect video content for your beauty, hair and spa business. And Gareth Davies is a big TV producer back in the UK and is the MD of the Presenter Studio. And he really works with individuals and businesses to help them really create content and be the perfect face of their business, I suppose, which I've also had the pleasure of spending a lot of time with Gareth in order to help enhance my skills. So as you might have seen before, Tara Rose and various other salon members in our community have also been on the course and have created amazing content. So this session really is all about how to be the best face and brand for your business through video content. So I'm going to hand over to Gareth and Mary to, and again, thank you, Mary, who is the founder of the Caviar Spoon, for collaborating with us on this webinar. Also, just before I go, we are streaming live on various platforms, so welcome to those who are watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, please pop them into the comment box and I'd be happy to present these questions to Gareth at the end of the session. So thank you so much for joining me. I will pop myself off and I will see you at the end of the session.
Thank you, Emma.
Thank you, Emma. Hi, Gareth. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Nice and early on a Monday morning here in the UK. If you're in Dubai, I'm guessing it's the afternoon, so you're probably a little bit fresh. Yeah, just waking up here in the UK, but good and very excited. Lots of information to share, hopefully, today.
Oh, I'm super excited. And I think the program we did in Dubai last time, there's so much response in the wellness and beauty world. It just seemed the ideal thing to do this. But I suppose the first thing is, why video? And that's what everyone is asking. Like, why do video if you're a hairdresser or a retail brand? Why?
Well, it was really interesting looking at that promo video, for starters, that Emma just played at the beginning of the event in February of next year. And it's such a competitive market for starters, in a sense of, look at how many people are in that space. And video is one of the best ways of connecting with your audience, standing out in a very crowded market, but also connecting with your customer from a personal point of view. If you look at successful brands like Virgin, Kelly Hoppen, Jo Malone, you know, the likes of Richard Branson, Kelly Hoppen, Jo Malone, they are all the face of those businesses. And at the end of the day, people buy people. We all relate to people. And video is just the best way of getting yourself across and having a conversation with your customer. But as we'll chat through today, there is a real trick to it. And my advice with all of these things is, if you're going to do it well. And the headline, I would say, or the headspace to kind of get yourself into when it comes to getting yourself on camera, is be the personification, can't say it this morning, be the personification of your brand, i.e. you, the way that you dress, the way that you speak, the content itself should represent that brand. And that's what will help people understand today.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think also with the professional beauty, like next year, you've got the people who are doing like the hair demos, all of those things where you have to, you know, you still need to be on stage and dazzling. And that's what people remember, you know, like look at Errol Douglas. He's brilliant on camera and he just loves it because that is just Errol, but he started when I asked him last year, and we did the recording in London. So how did you get into presenting? He said, you just have to throw yourself in it. You know, if you love what you do, practice makes perfect. But what about the type of videos? So what should brands be looking at in terms of type?
So I would say the process to work out what kind of stuff should you put out. And I think it's a really savvy question in a sense of be unique with that content. Put out content that is unique as your brand. And I think the danger comes whenever we're sort of doing something, we tend to sort of look at everybody else and think, well, what are they doing in this space? And let's have a little copy of what they're doing. Don't do it. So I've got 3 kind of tricks to sort of help you understand how best to work out what kind of content it should be. Number 1, look at the brand of your business. And basically this is a branding and marketing exercise. The whole thing is all about branding and marketing. So number 1, look at the brand of your business. And it's amazing when we work with brands on this whole process. And we always start off with a blank piece of paper and say, right, let's look at the brand of the business. And often this can take a very long time, but in a sense of, as a business, you all should know what your brand is. And I would say it boils down to 3 things: a 3-dimensional brand, and 3 key kind of traits that you want that brand to come across as. So for example, something like Virgin, and we could open up the chat, but it might take quite a long time in the chat. So I'm just going to jump in and say what I think the brand of Virgin is. I've got here British, I've got fun, and I've got the first, in a sense of, you know, they're not an EasyJet where they rebrand other people's planes. They are originators. They are the first ones to put a bar on an aeroplane, or, you know, they're very much the first, the originator. So look at the brand of your business first, and I would say 3 key things. Then look at the brand of you. What is your personal brand? And again, I would say it should boil down to 3 key things, 3 key personality traits in this example. So Richard Branson, I would say what works for him and what he's very much is what you call in TV or in video, producing up. You know, we're all multifaceted. There's many different things going on with all of us. But what is it about you that's going to help you bring your brand to life? So think of those 3 things. So Richard, I would say, family man, in a sense of, I'm not just a billionaire in a penthouse apartment on the Thames in London. I've got a family. So I go on holidays with my family. I've got a wife. I've got a partner. I've got children. So I have the same trials and tribulations as any normal person. So family, I would say. British, I would say another one. And casual, I would say another one with Richard, in a sense of, you know, he very much would turn up at a press conference or do video content in shorts and a t-shirt. You know, there's a casual luxury to him and his brand. And if you look at, again, a lot of his hotels and destinations that he does in the travel industry, they're casual luxury, they're barefoot luxury. So he very much, I would say, is a personification of Virgin, of that brand. So we talked about the brand of Virgin, the personification of you. So what's your personal brand? How do you personally want to come across? But always remember who this is for. And again, it's something I think that people quite easily forget. They get very excited about putting out content, but it's another P word that I'm going to probably struggle to pronounce this morning. Purpose, in a sense of what is the purpose? Who is this for? So the 3rd thing to work out would be your customer. In a sense of, if you are a high-end beauty brand, hair brand, then your content potentially needs to be high-end, glossy, to reflect that of the wants of your customer. So again, work out the 3 kind of traits of your customer: the age, the profile, how much money they might have, or indeed just the general tone and feel of that customer. Now, once you've got those 3 things kind of laid out, then start thinking about content, and we'll come up with some ideas today and suggestions of what that can be. But until you've gone through that kind of homework process, often with content, I think it can feel not very well thought through or very considered or very on brand. And I think you have to go back to basics and do it as a branding exercise first.
Yeah, and I think with regards to, I suppose the next question, which I sort of scribbled down when you were just saying this, is coordinating that into, or how, you know, how would you coordinate the video into social media at the moment? Because there's so many hair and beauty brands in Dubai, which I look at the page, and as much as it's lovely hair, all I see is hair, just photos of hair, or it may be a stock photo of nails. And it's like, wow, you know, even from mine, I go, there is so much stuff they're missing.
Yeah.
But so how do you, would you say do one video a week, or do aim for 2 lives? You know, how would you structure it if people are going to start doing it today?
Yeah, so basically social media is, I would say, a gift when it comes to video content. And we can talk about Instagram, YouTube, you know, videos for your websites, all of those different things. But let's look at social media kind of first. And absolutely, I think, you know, there is basically, I suppose, within the beauty world, for me, it's a real gift. It's a visual medium. You've got kind of, and also it's a transformative medium. You've always got that beginning, the before and after. And we're often quite used to seeing those before and after photos, but what else can you do with it? And I think it is a gift. It's visual. So let's cash in on it and do different bits of video content. So little ideas I've got written down here. Instagram, let's talk about that first. So before you go on Instagram and start doing content, always remember purpose. Why am I doing it? What am I trying to achieve with this? And what is it giving my customer? So is it there to entertain, inspire, educate? Is it a call to action to bring about sales? So remember the purpose first, the P. And then the other thing with video content is what we would call takeout. In that, people always love learning and they love information. So think about ways in which you can do content that is rich with takeout, with information, where people are learning stuff. So lives, Instagram lives, brilliant. In a sense of it's a live video, as we're kind of doing now. Always prep your lives, always script your lives. We've scripted today. We've told each other kind of what we're going to do and what we're going to say, but we're trying to do it in a nice casual fashion. So Q&As are a good thing to do on Instagram Live. Demos, in a sense of you have got that visual medium. So some sort of live demo, but then think about, as you said, you know, within the calendar, where could you schedule that? So, you know, every Friday, could you schedule a live 5 o'clock demo where you are doing one lady's hair in the salon who was getting ready to go out on a Friday night? And I know at the minute we're in slight lockdown, but we're still doing stuff. We're still socializing. So there's a bit of a call to action there. And then I'm building up a following. Everyone's coming to my social media on 5 o'clock on a Friday. You're already in the hair salon, always doing an appointment at 5 o'clock on a Friday. And it just so happens you're going to go live with it. It's a very simple, but feels exciting. And you can promote it on your stories all week. Behind the scenes, Emma was talking before about behind the scenes content. And people love stuff that feels like it's almost not produced sometimes. You know, there's a lot of glossy videos out there and they've all got a purpose, but sometimes actually a little behind the scenes video, a little behind the scenes video on, I don't know what it might be, when the truck arrives with all the products and how do you unpackage all the products, or how do you mix the color for the hair stuff? And who is that person who's mixing the hair dye for the client coming? Just behind the scenes little videos, little kind of rough around the edges kind of stuff. And then also on Instagram, IGTV, so self-contained videos. Tara put one out the other day, which I think had come about, I don't know, prior from a conversation with you guys about protecting her customers with from COVID-19 and coming into the salon. And what was lovely about that video was, you know, when it comes back to purpose, in a sense of, yes, I'm wanting to put people's mind at ease, but I'm doing it a Tara Rose way. I'm doing it in a very accessible way, with a smile, with a welcome, compared to, we did a chat the other day with the Paramount in Dubai hotel that I stayed at when I came last. And their COVID-19 video was 2 gentlemen in head-to-toe protective gear spraying down tables and chairs in the restaurant.
Yeah, so it's not giving you that, oh, I really want to go. Whereas Tara, I mean, the actual content of Tara's video, and I was so proud that she did that, because I mean, she was one lady who was so nervous before she had the training, but she made something which was yeah, it's not a great topic, is it? But she made it into a really interesting, informative video and got her staff involved.
Yeah, which is great to see other people in your camp that support you and your brand. yeah, and one of the things we work with people on is tone. You know, what is the tone of my piece? And often I think as businesses, we embrace a bit of a serious tone, particularly when we are representing our business. We go into business mode. But what's the tone of, you know, telling people my salon is safe to come into? You could say serious, you know, intelligent, informative, or flip it the other way as Tara did, inclusive, warm, friendly, safe. You know, still a lovely place to come in and relax. So tone is always a big thing. But yeah, going back to IGTV videos and your original question of, you know, scheduling in stuff, other little ideas I've got here, you know, trends. Once a month, could you do a trend video? Could you do something to do with secrets, top tips on, I don't know, a 5-minute quick fix for your hair on a Friday? You know, little secrets, stuff that in a sense people might not get access to, that you've got because you're the expert, that you can share with people. Vlog style, it's quite interesting. A lot of businesses, Kelly Hoppen, interior designer, does a little vlog thing every morning where she just literally picks up her phone, says hi to everybody, welcomes them, bit of a mantra for the day. And again, it works with that brand because her brand is quite aloof. It's very, very expensive. It's top end. So in a way, actually, what is the way that her brand can normalize itself, reach itself to the masses? Just doing more of a vlog style kind of works for Kelly. Meet the staff, I think, is great. As you kind of said, Pra, and in a sense of, you know, bringing other people in your team is really good. Product of the week, again, having things that you can schedule in that take the pressure off you to constantly be thinking of new ideas. You know, so Friday Night Live, product of the week, trend of the month, you know, all the beauty industry goes through different trends with the seasons, those kind of ideas.
Do you think with I know lots of people, they can be too brand precious. So we have a brand guidelines, but then what happens is, and I've seen this many times, and I've done a lot of employer branding. So before Caviar Spoon, I was an employer brand and recruitment. So you'd sit there and they get so brand precious that they daren't do anything, and they use Instagram as a photo album. And it's meant to be, so if it's funky weather, there should be a post, but there should be someone going, wow, it's like pouring with rain in Dubai. That's bizarre. Come in and see us. So, but some people can be a bit precious around that. But also I've heard in the past, oh, we don't think the staff should do videos because they may not put the right image on video. So I suppose my question is, can you create, you know, is a bad video or something which isn't so polished, is it bad for a brand or does it work?
A harsh answer, yes, I would say. And I think perhaps there is a resistance of why people don't necessarily do it. And I always say to people, if you've got any doubt about putting a video out there, don't do it. Because that could be the one video that everyone finds that doesn't reflect your brand, was you on a bad day. And, you know, I think at the minute we've all been looking perhaps a little bit more on social media, video, looking at how brands are promoting themselves. We've all had perhaps a little bit of time to step back. And there's one lady that instantly sort of, you know, comes to mind, who's got a really successful brand actually in Dubai, in the beauty industry. But her videos are so dry and so lacking purpose, and you know, passion for us is another big word. You know, you've got to be passionate about what you're talking about and your subject, and share that passion and bring people into your love of what you do. And there is a passion behind her eyes, I can tell it, but she's gone so far down the dry, informative route that I really don't want to go for a facial in her salon. So it's sort of, I would say, it's done more harm than good. So, you know, yes, there is a skill to it. It's what we help people with. It has to be unique to you. It has to reflect your brand. And if in any doubt, I just wouldn't actually put stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could get staff to do things, but then you can clear it. So is there any like 5 top tips? So if you're about to do a live or you're about to use your phone for some content, what are the do's and don'ts, which we you know, I remember one you said about having the lighting behind you. So, you know, you don't want to have a halo. So any other tips there which people can take away?
For an Instagram live?
Yeah, Instagram live, or just a video which you could put on, you know, about lighting, or maybe remembering what you're going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the visual side is probably the most important thing before you've got started. So look at the shot. And if you are going to do an Instagram live, look at the shot, look at the background, look at the lighting. So we've kind of both opted for quite clean backgrounds because we want to be the focus of the shot. It's what you call an MCU, a medium close-up. It's kind of to here. So it's quite nice and tight. You're pulling in to my eyes. So number one, the shot. Number two, I would say purpose, in a sense of, why am I doing this? Number three, take out, in a sense of where is the information? And I would always, if I'm going to do something, I would always write down the key bits of takeout on a piece of paper that I've kind of got next to me here. You can put something right next to the camera lens on a little sticky note, in a sense of give people information. There's far too often when you're going on kind of, IGTV lives or whatever they might be, where for me, there's just not enough takeout. They're far too long. Duration is another one, in a sense of when you're doing video content, sometimes, having a creative restriction on you, I'm just going to do 10-second videos, or I'm just going to do 30-second videos, or I'm always going to do an Instagram live that's 1 minute or a 1 minute top tips every Friday. It can creatively restrict you, and therefore actually can give you some great ideas. So duration is another one. And then the last thing, I'm going to join a few little things together on the last thing, but just be yourself. Don't talk to the camera. Chat to your mate, but it's kind of you on a good day. It's what we often kind of say to people, a 7 out of 10, because often it dilutes down to about a 5. 8 is a little bit too much. It's a bit like, oh my gosh, calm down. And kind of, you are, when you're watching content or Instagram lives or videos on people's websites, whatever it might be, you are competing with a space around that. We're not just locked into someone's phone. So you do have to up your energy just a little bit. And for example, that lady who comes to mind in Dubai who's been doing stuff, her energy is just so flat. So by the time it comes through on my phone, it's like, gosh, if that's as passionate as she is about her business, then I'm not so excited about joining in.
Yeah, and I think also, I know, we talk about Tara, but I think it's because when she did the training, she was so nervous, like so nervous. I thought Tara was going to cry, and if she's watching this, she probably felt as if she's about to cry. But you love her as a personality because she's so nervous and she finds it hard. And I think so many people, even with Emma, professional beauty Emma, when you are doing it, it does feel strange, but the more you do it, it becomes more natural. But you have to push yourself, the same as, if you're a hairstylist, you're not going to just stop learning about how to color hair. You're going to continuously improve. If you're a massage therapist, you're going to continuously improve. And I guess it's the same with video. You have to just keep working it.
Definitely, and it's when we work with people, basically. So, for example, when we work with Tara, we literally look at Tara as a blank canvas, and we'll always look at someone's business first, in a sense of making sure that we do as we've sort of practice as we preach, stuff gone through today. Look at your business first. What is the context of all of this? But then we'll look at that person as a blank canvas, as a personality, and kind of just think, what are the attributes to that person that is going to make them relatable? It's going to help them sell their brand. It's going to bring in the type of customer that they want to. And Tara has this beautiful, natural love for what she does. So you want to bring that out. And then some of those little bits of nerves that some people might have, that for me is often a good thing, in a sense of warmth, relatability, authenticity, honesty, are all, again, things that are going to help you be relatable. So you don't have to be the world's best speaker. It's all about understanding who you are, what makes me me, and how do I want to come across. So when you are doing stuff, it's all considered. There's a process you've gone through, and that it works for the medium that you're working in, which is video, which Tara has done, I think, brilliantly well. and hopefully, it is serving her business well as well.
And the other thing as well, I mean, you've gone through some examples around hair and beauty salons, what could happen. So, IG Lives, video, the demos. What about, I have a big bugbear about retail brands, the beautiful skincare products, which 9 times out of 10 are actually privately owned. But all you see on the page is a bottle and nothing else. So what could retail brands actually start doing?
Retail brands. Right, nice. You did tip me off just before we go live on this one. So I'm going to give you some little things on what they could do. So again, sometimes it comes back to purpose. Topicality is quite a good thing in a sense of coming up with a reason to do a bit of video content around a cream because it's now the summer, or because it's now in Dubai or the Middle East, it's very, very hot. So thinking about what is the headspace of the people watching this, where are they currently at, and how you can do content that gives them information that helps them with their current scenario. So with a little cream at the minute, I would probably do a little video about when best to apply my face cream or where to store my cream when it's incredibly hot, a little kind of nice how-to little video. Also, another little thing about kind of creams and that kind of thing, I would say is often to do with the texture. How often have we all bought a face cream when we go, oh, it's just a little bit light, or oh, it's just a bit heavy. So you could do perhaps a really lovely compare and contrast between 3 creams. One of them is your own, 2 of them are kind of other brands, and then get them out and show us the texture of what they might be. So I understand, again, I want takeouts, I want information. What's the kind of information I want about a face cream? Often it is to do with the texture. So therefore I understand where it sits within the spectrum of face creams out there. Another thing I would kind of do with products, and sometimes it's a very easy way of getting content, is just getting yourself out and about. It's what we call in TV vox pops, where you just go up to people in the street and you get them to often answer a question. So, could you as a business brand owner at the minute set up a little station outside your place with a locked off camera on the street and get people to come up to that station, try the cream, and give some reaction on camera to that cream? So instantly, it's a really honest, tested, what do you call them? I don't know, what do you call those little things when people kind of test creams on all those magazines and stuff? But a nice way of kind of bringing in people, a different way of creating content. So little ideas there. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and I think with the, I just think about the sort of hair salons and to collaborate with different salons or spas, and then that creates, so it might be an owner of a hair salon is doing a live with an owner of a spa and doing a bit of a collaboration, like getting ready for the weekend or something. So, again, it's different ideas. And I suppose from, the biggest thing is you don't have to think of all the ideas yourself. If you have a salon or a spa or a skincare brand, there'll be some restrictions at the moment with testers, etc. But your staff must have so many ideas. And I think that's where we miss a trick sometimes.
Yeah, look at the people around you. And I think, again, if you are, for example, a spa or a salon where there is a team there, then it's nice to showcase the team. And again, you might do that as little video content on a Friday. But my advice, with content is I would often kind of pile it up in a sense of, book a crew for one day and try and film as much on-brand stuff as you can on that one day. So if your little thing is going to be demos on a Friday, if you're getting ready on a Friday night, whatever it might be, then stockpile it. Do 20 in one day. And then your social media is kind of then sorted. Don't be fooled by people putting all this stuff out there thinking, my gosh, they've got a big team behind them. They're spending so much money. You can be cost effective with this. And my advice often with video content, particularly the good stuff and the stuff where it's a bit more on brand and less casual, stockpile it up, hire a crew for a day, write that content, and then you can put it out on social media as and when you want to.
Yeah, no, it's great. Absolutely brilliant. Just love it. So final tip, Gareth. We're going to pass over to Emma in a minute, so we're running out of time. So the final thing, that people can walk away with is what? From the man himself.
The final thing, I'll try and be succinct because I've been waffling through loads of stuff this morning because it's a space that I'm really excited about. But the final thing I would say is get yourself on brand, but make sure that you are the personification of your brand. You are aware of how you are coming across, and decide before you do any sort of content on a piece of paper the 3 things that make you you, that make you authentic, i.e. the 3 things are how you want to come across as a person, if that makes sense.
Love it. Thank you so much. So Emma, I think we're passing back to the lovely Emma, who's been taking lots of questions. I can see this question box. My phone keeps beeping as well. So
amazing. Yeah. It's great. And it's, you know, it's something that absolutely everybody, if you're from an owner through to even a therapist, start now on creating that content for your platforms. It's not just about, Maria Dowling, who I know is watching. Hi, Maria. It's, it's getting your teams behind this content as well, because I know so many consumers out there in Dubai, especially, turn to Instagram as that #1 kind of platform to decide where to go, to decide what treatments to have, to decide what, which salon to try, because it's so saturated. So like Gareth said, you are Maria Dowling Salon, but it's also your teams that represent you as well within your business. So absolutely invaluable. So yes, questions. Gareth, how many times a week would you post video content?
I would say that really depends on you. And I think, video content, when it comes, if we're talking about social media again, I think it can sometimes get overwhelming. And I think, it is quite addictive in the way that it is, that it works. Instagram, for example, that pull down, it's a little bit like slot machines with it constantly refreshing. And my advice on that would be, do what you feel comfortable with. Instagram posts are a great way of pushing people to more produced video content. So, I've got a mate of mine, we did a social media workshop a few weeks ago for businesses, and he came on at the end, and one of his videos online, it's had about 34 million hits, i.e. someone who's massive on creating social media video content. And he literally puts out 1 video a month, and all he's doing for the rest of that month, he's teasing that video. He's putting people, teasing people and pushing people through to it. And that's the way that he creates, high viewers. So it just depends on you, I would say, what you feel comfortable with. But that little trick I talked about before, recording a load of stuff in one day and then drip feeding it out, I think can sometimes give businesses a little bit more time to do the business side of things rather than the promotional side of things.
And with that, Gareth, as well as consistency.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look from when I've been a judge before, and I'm looking at consistency because I want to see consistency from a salon or a spa, etc. So if you're going to do it, it's best, I'd say. I mean, you're the guy who knows everything, but I'd say do it once a month, but consistently do it once a month.
Definitely, and that's why I think your question before about what can I do within the calendar is a really clever little trick to have. In a sense of, where are people thinking about skincare, beauty? It might be on a Sunday where we all sort of, doing a little bit of a clean in the bathroom. So could you do a lovely little thing on a Sunday about how to replenish your skin for the week ahead? And you always know on a Sunday, at a particular time, you're going to do it. And then you can just chill the rest of the week. You're not thinking about it. So definitely get those ideas down. And I would say, yes, scheduling stuff is a clever way of making sure that you put out regular content. Yeah.
Sorry, I think I'm having some technical issues, so continue to have a conversation if I disappear. So yeah, I think that's really key, is creating a story arc of content that's consistent. And, it's like a TV channel, really. That 10 a.m. every day, Maria is going to be there talking about hair trends or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
when Emma's frozen,
Riksha is here. I feel social media. Oh, have I frozen? I'm back.
Yeah, good.
Sorry.
Good.
I don't know
No
what's Rooks just said that she feels that social media has really changed since COVID. And that actually in the grid, when it comes to Instagram, it's more about personality within that platform than it looking pretty. Would you agree with
that. It depends by what she means looking pretty. I think, visually, your social media, I would say, has to have a particular look to it. And I think in Dubai, the Middle East, you're way ahead of how we are in the UK. Your Instagram is so produced, glossy. There's so much thought that goes behind it. But yeah, very much personality based. I think people are not afraid now to put themselves on camera, but I would say it still has to be on brand. We did this whole, last week did a whole thing with the travel industry. We were talking a lot about the Six Senses brand and how it's, one of the top end hotel destinations you can go to, yet their Instagram lives are literally almost this gentleman sat in, I don't know, on his sofa, which looks like it needed a good wipe down. But you're representing a real top end brand. So, it needs to be on brand, your content, then there needs to be thought behind it. So if it's a pretty brand, then yeah, give me pretty. If it's male skincare, I don't want pretty. And I know that's not what she was saying, but there needs to be a thought behind the visual elements of it as well.
So there needs to be a mix of both. It needs to be human and it needs to be full of personality, but also it needs to be on brand. So I think that's really important. I'm just having a look at the Q&A. What type of videos work best when it comes to advertising? So I guess what this might mean is to come across not too salesy. What would be your tips for that in terms of really bringing that human side across for something that's salesy?
Got you. So with that, I would say expertise, in a sense of, if I can see you doing some sort of demo, it's a little bit like those before and after photos that people are putting on that Prat mentioned earlier, on Instagram, which is, don't get me wrong, before and after photos, brilliant. But bring those photos to life. Don't be afraid to do one of those as a video per week or one of those videos as a month, where you're talking me through how you were doing that hairstyle, how that's come about. So then as a customer, I'm looking at it thinking, oh my God, that is amazing. I want to go there. And you're talking me through then the products, why you're using those kind of products. And you're bringing in a conversation with all these other brands that then you might be able to tag onto social media, so then your reach is bigger. I think expertise is a very good soft sell. I'm being sold by the fact that you are brilliant at what you do, rather than, I think a lot of what's been going on at the minute is people telling us how brilliant they are. Show us how brilliant you are, and that brings it all to life.
On that note, there is actually, we've been doing work with QMS. So QMS is a skincare product, and it's bottles, and they have bottles everywhere. But what we started doing with them actually is a live skin analysis with their head trainer and educator. So you can do in like 5-10 minutes. Literally, she's looking at your face via live and just saying, okay, so we're going to be using this. That's because of X, Y, and Z. So it's a sale, because then you're going, oh, I'd love to have that cleanser, but it's not you should have the cleanser because of X, Y, and Z. It's doing something different, and it's been quite good.
That's really interesting. Again, it's what I would call inclusive content, in a sense of make it mean something to people, bring people in. So if I'm watching an Instagram live or whatever it might be with a skin expert analyzing Pra's skin, and she's talking about the fact that your T-zone might be this or that might be this, I'm thinking, well, actually, yeah, my T-zone is the same, so I'm going to buy that product, because it's brought to life by the analysis of what's happening there, rather than if you've got a glossy T-zone, this is the product for that. It's therefore inclusive. You're bringing me in via somebody else. That's really clever.
Mm-hmm. And also, Emma, I suppose a question which I have for you, really, like with so many members in the Middle East, it kind of pays off to probably have maybe a group WhatsApp or something where people can actually share ideas amongst the salon, say, well, what do you think of this? Because there's probably lots of people watching this who are going, I still feel a bit shy in front of the camera, so I won't do it. Or I better not do it because it might not be as good as the salon down the road. Whereas if everyone just takes their barriers down and starts looking at different ideas, it could then build up good momentum. So it's kind of a little bit of a fun competition as well.
Yeah, well, we do. We have the community WhatsApp group. It's got about 95 members now, and that WhatsApp group was created years ago, and that's really a platform of information, a source of, especially recently, that they've been inundated in use. And even with Tara and her video that went out like that there is a platform there. So I think absolutely it's definitely there for you to share your ideas. I know, like before, everyone was very private about what they wanted to show, but actually it's healthy competition and you can really learn from each other. So I think Tara's been a great role model in terms of the transformation she's made by doing the course in Dubai recently, and that's really showing on her platform. And the group are talking about it. They're aware. And actually, before we wrap up, this leads me on to saying to you all who's watching, Gareth is coming to Dubai. End of September, I believe. We are collaborating with him in order to bring you workshops and training days so you can really get down and literally, physically learn practically what you need to do to produce content. So we're really excited to be doing this again. Gareth, can you talk to us a bit more about what this workshop's going to entail?
Yeah, so basically, when we came last time, we very much looked at two different ways in which you present. One is kind of video content, and then two was presentation skills. In a sense of, I know in Dubai, and particularly your event, Emma, in February, people have to get up on stages and present. So we very much are looking at those two areas again. And this time around, I know Pra might want to take over, is setting up specific sessions for specific industries. So we will be doing a 1 day and a 2 day just for the beauty industry, where on the first day we'll do video content, and the second day, if you wanted to come back for day 2, we'll do presentation skills. And that's what we did with Tara, although I think Tara did the 1 day where in the morning we did video and in the afternoon we did presentation, and we built up to a big old kind of show and tell in the afternoon where each person had to get up and give a big presentation in front of a group of people, which was joyful and amazing, and everyone came together and loved it. So yeah, September is the date when we're coming back, and we're looking forward to getting our hands on people, but also giving you guys ideas, working with you individually about what it is that you can do, because we don't all want to be Tara. Tara's doing well in that space, so let's let her shine in that space, and let's give her some healthy competition in a sense of coming up with ideas for other brands as well. Yeah.
I think, also, Emma, what we saw last time at the Paramount, we had a mix of people. So we had obviously we had spark connectors, we had broadcast journalists. So this time, when we looked at this, that actually, rather than walking away with a taster tape, which you look at and go, oh, it's a nice taster tape, I'll show everyone, what Gareth is going to be doing is producing every individual, but in a work kind of live demo. So if you are a hairdresser, you might be doing a live demo, or is what you want to be doing next year, or you might be doing nails. So you can then have the videos edited and use for your social media. So we're wrapping it up in one or 2 days. And I think Gareth, I don't know if are we doing video the first day, and then the second day would be public speaking and stand-up demos, or how are we going to be working that one?
Yeah, I think that's all sort of TBC, isn't it? But I think, yeah, basically there are two things that we do with people. It's video content and presentation skills, which people last time either were opting in or out of both, or indeed we did do a 1 day where we did do both, or we did a 2 day where on day 1 we did video, day 2 we did presentation skills. But yeah, I think the best way is probably getting in contact with is it yourself, Emma, or Pra, if people are sort of interested and want to find out more when we've set the dates. I think we've been a little bit nervous with the dates because of what's been happening obviously in the world, but now that we're allowed back in, everything is going to be firmed up in the next couple of weeks. Yeah,
brilliant. Pastels are in. We've just had a
pastels. Oh no.
No, absolutely, and we will keep everyone posted on those dates and the workshop So do Riksha, do keep an eye on our Facebooks and Instagrams, and also Mary's. Gareth's Instagram at the Presenter Studio is one that you should also be following to get tips. So yeah, we're really excited for that, and it's a great opportunity for you all to learn. So I did it and I was petrified, but there's a lot of learned from it, so it's really rewarding. So yeah, amazing. We're out of time, but loads of amazing tips there. Thank you, Gareth, for your time. Thank you, Mary, again for hosting this amazingly with me. And yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing you in Dubai very soon.
Thank you so much. And everyone, start doing content. Get yourselves out there. Bossy Booster, looking at all your social media, tag me so I can look at it. And I'm more than happy to give you guys feedback and stuff remotely. So yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Great to see you all, and thank you, everyone, for joining. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good week.
Bye.
Cheers.